everybody. Amrita Civil Services Education Programmലേക്ക് ഏവർക്കും സ്വാഗതം. ഒരു സിവിൽ സർവീസസിന്റെ ഫൈനൽ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ എങ്ങനെയിരിക്കുമെന്ന് നമുക്ക് പലർക്കും ഒരുപക്ഷെ അറിയണ്ടാവില്ല. സിവിൽ സർവീസസ് മനസ്സിൽ കാണുന്ന അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു സ്വപ്നമായി കാണുന്ന നിങ്ങളിൽ പലർക്കും വളരെ യൂസ്ഫുൾ ആൻഡ് വളരെ സഹായകരമാകുന്ന രീതിയിലാണ് ഈ ഒരു ഇന്റർവ്യൂ ബോർഡിനെ ഒരുക്കിയിരിക്കുന്നത്. വളരെ എമിനന്റ് ആയ പേഴ്സണാലിറ്റീസ് ഉള്ള ഒരു ശരിക്കും ഡൽഹിയിലെ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ ബോർഡ് എങ്ങനെയിരിക്കും എന്നതിന്റെ ഒരു മിനിയേച്ചർ വേർഷൻ തന്നെയാണ് ഇവിടെ അവർക്ക് വേണ്ടി ഡിസൈൻ ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നത്. ഇന്നത്തെ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ പാനൽ ചെയർ ചെയ്യുന്നത് അംബാസഡർ ടി.പി. ശ്രീനിവാസൻ സർ, currently Executive Vice Chairman of Kerala State Higher Education Council, Ms. Jaya Chandrasekhar, an English communication skill expert and professional trainer, Shri Rishi Raj Singh, IPS, Chief Vigilance Officer, KACB, Dr. K. Ampadi, IIS, Managing Director, Kerala State Coastal Area Development Corporation Limited, N. Prashant, IAS, District Collector, Calicut. Hello Benson.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, so congratulations ആദ്യം തന്നെ. കാരണം പ്രിലിംസും മെയിൻസും ക്ലിയർ ചെയ്തു. അങ്ങനെ മെയിൻ ഫൈനൽ ഇന്റർവ്യൂവിന് വേണ്ടി ഇങ്ങനെ പ്രിപ്പയർ ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുകയാണ് അല്ലേ? ഓക്കെ, സോ ടെൽ us about yourself. വീട്ടിൽ ആരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ട്? എവിടെയാണ് വീട്? സ്ഥലം എവിടെയാണ്?
എൻ്റെ സ്ഥലം ബേസിക്കലി കൊട്ടാരക്കര. വീട്ടിൽ ഫാദർ മദറുണ്ട്, ഒരു ബ്രദറുണ്ട്, സിസ്റ്ററുണ്ട്. ബ്രദർ മാരീഡാണ്.
ഓക്കെ,
അവർ ബഹറിനിൽ സെറ്റിലാണ്.
ഓക്കെ ഓക്കെ, സോ എവിടെ സ്ഥലം എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ?
കൊട്ടാരക്കര.
കൊട്ടാരക്കരയാണ് അല്ലേ? ഓക്കെ, ശരി. അപ്പം ഏത് പ്രായം മുതലാണ് ഇതിനു വേണ്ടി പ്രിപ്പയർ, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ ഒരു സ്വപ്നം മനസ്സിൽ വന്നു തുടങ്ങിയത്? വളരെ ചെറുപ്പത്തിലേ വന്നു അതോ ഗ്രാജുവേഷനൊക്കെ കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട്? എന്തായിരുന്നു ഗ്രാജുവേഷൻ?
ഞാൻ ബേസിക്കലി നേഴ്സിംഗ് ആയിരുന്നു.
നഴ്സിംഗ് ആയിരുന്നു. ഓക്കെ, സോ വെൻ ഡിഡ് യു സ്റ്റാർട്ട് ഗെറ്റിംഗ് എൻ ഇൻട്രസ്റ്റ് ടുവേർഡ്സ് സിവിൽ സർവീസ്?
ഞാൻ PG പഠിച്ചുകൊണ്ടിരിക്കുന്ന ആ ഒരു ടൈമിലാണ്.
എങ്ങനെയായിരുന്നു അതിൻ്റെ പ്രിപ്പറേഷനും കാര്യങ്ങളൊക്കെ?
മെയിനായിട്ട് ഗൈഡൻസ് വന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ പാലയിലെ സിവിൽ സർവീസ് അക്കാഡമി,
ഓക്കെ,
അവിടെ നിന്നൊരു ഗൈഡൻസ് ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു. പിന്നെ ഒരു വർഷം നമ്മൾ അവിടുത്തെ ലൈബ്രറി യൂസ് ചെയ്തു, പിന്നെ സ്വന്തമായിട്ട് ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട്.
ഓക്കെ, ബെൻസൺ ഏറ്റവും വലിയ സ്ട്രെങ്ത് എന്തായിട്ടാണ് ബെൻസൺ കരുതുന്നത്?
ഹാർഡ് വർക്ക്.
ഹാർഡ് വർക്കിംഗ്. ഓക്കെ, ആൻഡ് വീക്ക്നെസ് ഇഫ് എനി?
ചില സമയത്ത് റിലേഷൻഷിപ്പ് മെയിൻറ്റെയിൻ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റാത്തൊരു അതേ ഉള്ളൂ.
പാനലിനകത്തുനിന്ന് പാനലിൽ പറയുന്ന കാര്യങ്ങൾ ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് വളരെ പോസിറ്റീവായിട്ട് എടുക്കുക. അതിന് ഇനി വരുന്ന ഇന്റർവ്യൂവിന് സഹായകരമാവുന്ന രീതിയിൽ മാത്രം എടുക്കുക. ഓക്കെ, സോ വിഷ് യു ഓൾ ദി ബെസ്റ്റ് ആൻഡ് ദെയർ യു ഗോ ഫോർ ദി ഇന്റർവ്യൂ.
ഓക്കെ, താങ്ക് യു. Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon.
Benson baby, right?
Yes.
Yeah, please sit down.
Thanks.
Where did you get this name baby from?
From my father, sir. His name is Baby Kutis.
Right, but that's an unusual name, right? Elsewhere in the world, will they be named baby?
No, usually for small children only.
Right, but you are not a small child anymore. So do people ask you, why do you call yourself baby?
Sometimes my friends used to mock at me.
We had a distinguished minister, even now a political leader, Mr. M.A. Baby, yes, right? So it might cause some questions as to why such a name has come about. It's just an affectionate term, I suppose, which turned it into a name. And you are a nursing student.
Yes,
you graduated from nursing,
yes, sir.
Right? So what prompted you to do nursing? It's rather unusual for men to do nursing, right?
It was in 2004, sir. Then at that time there was a boom towards nursing, and in my locality I didn't get any career guidance also, and so at that time in my locality many people were going abroad, and I thought of going abroad.
So for going abroad, nursing was considered very useful.
Provide ample opportunities.
But is it the same now? I believe it has changed.
It has changed now, sir.
Now many countries do not take nurses from India.
I think it's partially true, sir, because if we are well trained, usually the Indian nurses and Philippine nurses are well trained, and so Indians have.
Why this prejudice against the Indian nurses now? Do you know? Because in the old days it was the Indian nurses, particularly Kerala nurses, who ruled the world anywhere. Yes. Anywhere you went in Europe, anywhere in the United States. But there seems to have been some kind of a slump in that. Is there any explanation for it?
I think the Philippine nurses are having less remuneration nowadays, and they are
less demanding.
Yes, they are less demanding, sir.
So what prompted you now to turn into civil service now? Once you went into nursing, now you are thinking of civil service.
Later I think
do you know of anyone who has done nursing and joined the civil service?
One lady named Anis or something.
Two? There are two Malayali girls who joined. So you will be probably the first Indian male nurse to join the civil service if you are successful, right? So what service have you chosen?
So the administrative service, sir.
And then?
Then revenue service.
And then?
Then next Indian Revenue Service, Customs.
Not even third choice is foreign service. How
Uh,
come? Why are you so much opposed to foreign service?
Nowadays, I am not affectionate to going abroad. That's why.
Oh, I thought you were a nurse to go abroad. Now,
Yeah.
as a foreign service officer, you don't want to go abroad.
At that time, I had an thinking that if I am going abroad, I can make some money. And later, I think that merely making money is nothing.
Now you think you can make money in India?
It's in the service we can make much money if we are legitimate, sir.
But what is really the difference between the IAS and the IFS, apart from working abroad? But what is the objective? Is it different or the same?
When you are in IFS means you will be representing the nation, and you will be helping the people there also, like the Indian Administration Service is doing here, and we will be representing our nation. We will be engaging with the various nations for our own development.
So economic development is the purpose of both the services,
Yes, sir.
right? So how does the foreign service help economic development?
As we are a developing country, we will be able to garner more help from the developed nations, and also to increase our power, the soft power, we can help other nations also who are developing and least developed nations.
How about resources?
We have also in some cases we have enough resources, but in most of the cases we don't have much resources, so we have to import such resources, and so for that also we want the help of other nations.
And anything else you can think of, like peaceful environment? Is that
Yes, sir.
important
The
for your
global
development?
concerns like climate change, then terrorism, all these stuff, all these things are related to the diplomacy across
Well,
the
I'm
world.
glad you mentioned climate change. It's a major diplomatic initiative. Do you know what's happening in Paris this year?
Yes, sir.
What is that?
The 20th conference of UNFCCC.
Yes, you know about UNICC,
Yes,
the International Intergovernmental Working Group. So what exactly happened in Copenhagen as against what happened in Rio? Are you following those negotiations? There was a Rio understanding,
yes.
and it changed in Copenhagen. In what form did it change? Do you remember?
Earlier it was that the developed countries should reduce their emissions below the 1990 levels, and later after the Copenhagen summit they had changed. Many developed countries withdraw their commitments. That was the main thing.
Yeah, they did, but the international level itself changed. The negotiations level itself changed. We are pursuing the Kyoto Protocol, but we gave that up. What is the difference between Kyoto Protocol and the present proposal?
The Kyoto Protocol mandates every nation to adhere to the commitments that they are supposed to do.
And what was our position?
We said that we will reduce by 25%. That is before the 2005 levels.
No, but then what is the difference in the approach? Earlier it was mandatory for the developed countries,
Yes.
and now what is the word for what is it that every country
That
is now
is
doing?
Indian and nationally determined contributions.
It's voluntary.
It's voluntary.
That is the big difference between. So, do you think as a mandatory measure, many people did not cut their emissions? So, do you think voluntarily they will do?
Like that, US and China had voluntarily declared that they will reduce the emissions, but not up to the mark that as they had proposed earlier. But if all the countries are following the methods, I think.
But what is the target? What is it that the world is aiming at?
That is within 2100 below 2 degrees Celsius.
That should not exceed.
That should not exceed 2
Very
degrees.
good. You know a lot about climate change, I can see.
Thanks.
You have written your hobby as cycling.
Yes, sir.
You just written, or are you serious?
Yes, sir. I used
Okay.
to pursue.
Which is the best cycling race in the world? Even important than Olympics?
I had like a Tour de France, sir.
Why it is called so?
Sometimes it goes across countries, and
It doesn't go out of one country, let me tell you. It is only in one country. And what is the total length?
I don't remember the exact kilometer length, sir. It's
We will allow you to guess.
about 41 kilometers
What?
or 21 kilometers.
It's 3,000 kilometers. Don't even mention it in that place. Okay. What is, there has been a very unusual incident regarding Tour de France around 1 year ago. What is that?
The cyclist who got first medal like Lance Armstrong was doped, found to be doped.
How many medals he got?
7 medals.
From which year to which year?
Sorry sir, that I don't remember.
What is the novel written and who is the author who caught him doing it? Because he has been caught only now. He got all the medal and everything. Can you name the author? Name of the book?
Sorry sir.
What is ethical hacking?
That is to assess our security. What extent our systems are.
That's not the ethical hacking, the definition.
That is hacking to assess the strength of our internet security also.
No. Recently government changed our IT Act. A particular section was deleted by Supreme Court.
Yes.
What was that section and why government did it?
Section 66, IT Act Section 66 says
Why it should be deleted?
it is the Supreme Court Supreme Court held that it is against the freedom of expression of the citizens.
How?
If it is if I am posting something in the social media or doing something in the internet, and if it is offending someone else, the government can book the person. That's
So that has been deleted.
so that's deleted.
So now you mean to say I have every right to abuse anyone, Prime Minister, President, anyone?
No,
Is
sir.
that right?
I don't mean like that, sir.
No.
Because
No, what is the factual position now? I'm asking you a question. Can we do it now?
no, sir. According to Article 19(2), there is reasonable restrictions for the freedom of expression.
What is the restriction in that act now?
That section was tended unconstitutional by the Supreme Court.
So now, I mean, as per that act is concerned, you are free to abuse anyone, right? This nursing sector has a lot of problem all over the country, in India, I mean in Kerala. What are those problems?
Mainly the remuneration that the nurses are getting, sir, and the hardships they are facing, because even though many committees have forwarded like increasing the remuneration, it has not changed.
What is the remuneration now, let us say?
It is the Belraman committee, the recent report by the Belraman committee say that it's about 13,000 per for the starting nurses. But
30?
13.
13,
sir.
yeah.
But many hospitals are not implementing. That's the main problem, sir.
They are not paying even that much.
Yes, sir.
Living relationship, now Supreme Court has come out with all regulations now saying that a child born out of a couple living together will be having as rights or same rights as suppose they would have been married. So what is your take on that? It's a good thing, no? Or it's a bad thing?
It's a good thing, sir.
Okay, you mean to say the earlier since so we waited till the Supreme Court Supreme Court should have said it. Before that we were not considering that this was good or bad. You mean to say?
Sir, I think our country is in transition from the archaic rules, many rules we are having, and we are going to a liberal way. And by this, I think the Supreme Court made it in a order.
Okay.
Gandhi Jayanti is a holiday, right?
Yes.
So holiday is no tribute to a man who believed work is worship. If you really want to honor Gandhi, go out and be the change that you want to see. What are the changes that you would like to see in our country?
Ma'am, is it with regard to the holidays? Is it with regard to the holidays?
No. Like I said, if you want to honor Gandhi, you go out and you be the change that you wish to see. So what are the changes that you wish to see in our country?
I think our country should meet the developmental standards. The quality of life of every citizen should have been improved, like what the developed countries has given, and the untouchability, the low education status, the low level of health status, all these things should be removed. That's what I think.
If you could change one thing about yourself, what would you change?
Grow some hair.
No, I think this is in. You're making a fashion statement. Okay, I'll just ask you a question on movies. Do you watch movies?
Not usually, ma'am.
You don't like movies?
I like movies, but I won't usually watch movies.
You don't usually watch movies. Okay, but don't you think the picture is getting smaller and smaller? You're watching it on television, you're watching it on the computer, very on your mobile. Yeah, very soon you'll have your smartwatch and you'll be watching. So the picture is getting smaller and smaller. Do you think the film experience or the theatre experience, as we know it, will soon fade away? People will not really go there and watch movies.
Nowadays, in the busy world, people are not getting enough time to watch movies. They
Yes.
don't get enough leisure time,
Yes.
and so they used to watch for short movies if the content is good. If the movie is very long, means sometimes it may not be having enough. It may not be worth to see the full movie,
Yes.
and so the people won't go for that movie, and so they are cut shorting that thing. Even if the movie is very short, if it is having a good content or good message, people will go for that.
Okay, which do you prefer personally? Sitting at home, watching on your TV or your DVD, or going to the theatre? Which do you prefer?
Both having positive aspects, ma'am.
Okay.
But people are not abandoning the theatre. Even in the United States, people go to the theatre.
All are full.
Yes, to see movies. And here on the first day, can you get a ticket? So it's really not becoming small. People prefer
Yes.
the full impact.
Benson, you must have heard of transgenders.
Yes, sir.
Now there was a recent Supreme Court judgment which said that they have equal rights, if not more, and they should be given even reservation.
Yes.
What's your take on that?
Yes, they are also a marginalized community, sir, and so I prefer to give a reservation for them.
What is the constitutional provision for reservation?
That is Article 16.
What does it say?
It says that
Who can be given reservation?
economically and socially backward sections of the society.
Economically and
Socially backward.
does economic criteria get any mention there? Are you sure?
Sorry, sir, I am not sure.
Socially and educationally backward.
Sorry.
Okay. Now, are transgenders socially and educationally backward community per se?
Educationally, I don't have much knowledge about them, but socially, they are victimized by the majoritarian community because if they won't be able to come to the mainstream society, and so I
Who
think
is a transgender?
they are not identified with their own gender. They will be having the affection towards the opposite gender.
Is affection necessary criteria?
Isn't there a physical difference?
No, there won't be a physical difference.
But is homosexuality connected with transgender?
Yes,
It is.
yes.
Is it compulsorily connected?
No, it can be compulsorily connected.
Okay, how will you identify, say you are the district collector of a particular district and you have been asked to devise a program for identifying the transgenders so that you can give reservation. How will you do that? You said they are socially and educationally backward.
Like the recent socio-economic caste census that we had done, we can do a census, or we can advertise through the media.
Where will you find it? Can you name one transgender, any famous transgender?
Sorry, sir, I am not remembering the name.
Okay, you are posted in a Naxal infected district, say in Chhattisgarh or Jharkhand or wherever, and you have a problem there. A particular village, they are totally siding with the Naxals. Okay, they are giving information to the Naxals. The entire population is siding by the Naxals. Now the government has decided that we should bring them on our side. Now, as a strategy, what was decided was that we should make them dependent on the state. For that, we need to first of all shut down the schools, and then there is a primary health center. That was all successfully taken out. But now you have a private clinic being run by a doctor there. As a district collector, what are the strategies you will adopt to ensure that that is also shut down as fast as possible? You don't have much time with you. But at the same time, it should not be very visible that you are doing it. The state is doing it. You need to get it shut down so that the public, they are forced to depend on the state for whatever they require. So what will you do? What are the strategies you will adopt?
We should look for providing some healthcare benefits through the state.
No, I don't think you got the question. There is a private clinic that is left out, that is still running. Now, as a district collector, your goal is to somehow shut that down also. Without that, the public will not come to you. They need to come to the state. They should depend on the state. What will you do? And this clinic, the person who is running the clinic, the doctor, he is also an Naxal sympathizer. Now, what will you do to shut this down? What's the strategy you will adopt?
You have to look for any legal thing, like any malfunctions is going on like that.
Okay.
It's a true story, by the way. I should take a cue from this. In Gadchiroli, there is a family, husband and wife. They are running a hospital in the Naxalite area. Police has been catching them also, putting them in the jail, but still they are continuing with their job. They say, we are doctors, we will not stop treating the people, whoever has come to us. So his question is relevant. Please answer.
Using some intermediaries to from the doctor to
How about providing better services from the government side?
yeah.
Is that possible?
Include him also in the government sector.
He is a Naxal sympathizer. What about an encounter?
It's not viable, I think so.
It's too risky. Okay, you are the district collector again. Okay, so you want to perform, you want to make a difference there. I'll give you 3 options. Out of the 3, in which sector do you want to excel? Okay, one is NREGS, where you will be giving a lot of funds to the ordinary people, money in the hands. Second is industrial development. Third is tourism. In these 3 sectors, you have an option. You will be able to bring forth a growth of around, say, 5 to 6% if you put in your entire effort. Now, as collector, which sector of this? Is it NREGS or industry or tourism, which you will take upon yourself to deliver?
Mainly that depends upon the area where I will be working, sir. And if it's a rural area means
no, the results would be same. Either of these 3. You have got 3.
okay.
NREGS, industry,
All 3
or
has
tourism.
equal opportunities.
Okay.
Yeah. At the end of your tenure, you will be able to say, I have spent so much money extra on NREGS, I have given money to the public. That's one way of saying it. Or you have got 6% growth in industry, or you can say you have got 6% growth on tourism. What would be your achievement? Which you prefer? What should your progress report say?
I will first go for this with the NRG, sir, because it will affect a lot amount of people, and by that, if you are productive enough in the NRG sector, that will lead to development of industry automatically.
NRGS will lead to industry.
If it is productive and productive in the rural areas.
What is NRGS?
That is National Rural Employment Guarantee Scheme, sir.
That, of course, what is it?
It's a provision of 100 days, minimum 100 days work to the rural people.
If they are unemployed.
If they are unemployed.
So you want to create unemployment in your district and perform. No, if industry performs, you won't need NRGS, isn't it?
So, but in the case of industry, first we have to.
What is which sector employs? If there is a particular percentage of growth, the maximum percentage of employment results in tourism, but you don't want tourism.
Tourism, it's also good, sir. Tourism is also good.
But your priority would be NRGS.
NRGS.
Okay.
Benson Baby,
Yes, sir.
you have graduated in nursing from Bishop Bensiger College of Nursing.
Yes, sir.
Who is Bishop Bensiger?
Bishop Bensiger is the last foreign bishop who came to Kollam diocese.
Okay, and what is he known for?
He started a church.
Apart from church?
Sorry, sir. I don't know.
You are a nurse by training, and nurses are known as epitomes of compassion, serving the poor, serving the people who are suffering from pain. From such a profession, where you can directly serve people, gets sort of self-actualization. Why do you want to come to civil service? Ugly world of civil service, politics, nepotism, corruption, red tape.
Amidst of this, what you mentioned, like ugly world of this bureaucracy, there are certain persons who can provide some light to the people, sir. I like to be one among them. That is, if I am a nurse, means I will be able to provide care for only a small number of people. But if I am because when I trained in the for PG in a medical college, I can see that many patients are there for without any bed.
As a nurse, whom do you consider as a good doctor?
A doctor who is a good listener and who is able to assess the patient properly, sir. And to provide better treatment.
What is suprapubic puncture?
That is putting an insertion over the bladder that is to drain the blood.
In the blood. Okay. You are a nurse.
Yes.
Suppose. It's a practicing nurse in one of the remote villages of the country. And while you are practicing, a mortally wounded terrorist came to you. He is known to be the reason for the entire terrorist activities in that region. He is mortally wounded. If you leave him unattended for maybe 2 hours, then the entire nuisance for that region is over. What would you do?
I will basically provide the basic life support, sir.
Then
Then I will inform the police.
suppose you came to know that he is one of those terrorists, maybe Lashkar-e-Toiba or Jaish-e-Mohammed, who has been actually taken as part of the Kandahar hijack episode. And if you leave him, it is almost sure that another episode will happen and he will again go back and perpetrate the terrorist attack on our country. What would you do then?
And also I will do the same thing, sir, because basically I am trained to be a person who is able to save the life of people. If he is mortally wounded, means I have to give him basic life support. Rest the law can take its course, sir.
So you will
then you are
forever-
not a nurse. If you are a police officer, IPS, you have not taken IPS as your option. Say if you were the DM or sub collector there, then what would you do?
I will take him into custody, sir.
Then whether you will give him the basic support?
Yes, sir, surely.
You are not, bothered about the larger issues he will create for the nation?
That the law can take into action, sir.
Are you acting in national interest?
I believe in so, sir.
Yeah, I felt you are forever remaining a nurse. You are not growing into a officer. You should take national interest. You should see larger things, isn't it?
Yes.
So, in taking into picture the larger interest of the country, shouldn't you ensure that that person is finished once and for all? This is war. War is going on. Terrorism is war on the nation. So, when such things are happening, shouldn't you ensure that the enemy of the country is finished?
But we don't have proper evidence that I may not have proper evidence that.
No, you have been very clearly given the information that he is the
He is the terrorist.
Jaish-e-Mohammed leader who has been taken from our jail through Kandahar episode.
So compassion may be misplaced. That's the point. Okay, let's conclude this. So you have heard about trick questions that the UPSC sometimes raises, right? Have you heard of them?
Yes, I heard from my friends.
So I'll ask you one. What happened to the world when the wheel was invented? Okay, that's all right. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Hello, Benson.
Hello.
ഒന്ന് ശ്വാസം വരണോ? Okay, how do you feel?
It's nice experience.
നല്ല എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ആയിരുന്നോ? ഇതുപോലെയുള്ള വേറെ സെഷൻ ഇന്റർവ്യൂസ് ഒക്കെ അറ്റൻഡ് ചെയ്തിട്ടുണ്ടോ ആസ് എ പ്രിപ്പറേഷൻ ഫോർ ദി മെയിൻ ഇന്റർവ്യൂ?
Yes.
ഓക്കെ, പക്ഷെ അത് വെച്ച് കമ്പയർ ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ ഇത് എങ്ങനെയുണ്ടായിരുന്നു? കുറച്ചും കൂടി ഡിഫിക്കൽട്ട് ആയിരുന്നോ, കംഫർട്ടബിൾ ആയിരുന്നോ?
കുറച്ചുകൂടെ ഒരു ലൈവ്ലി എക്സ്പീരിയൻസ് ഫീൽ ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റിയിട്ടുണ്ട്.
ഓക്കെ ഫൈൻ. സോ ത്രൂ ഔട്ട് ദി ഇന്റർവ്യൂ എന്തായിരുന്നു ഉള്ളിലുള്ള ഫീലിംഗ്? നെർവസ്നെസ് ആയിരുന്നോ? അത് ആദ്യം കുറച്ച് കഴിഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ ആ നെർവസ്നെസ് ഒക്കെ മാറി ഓക്കെ ആയോ? എന്തായിരുന്നു മനസ്സിൽ കൂടെ പോയിക്കൊണ്ടിരുന്നത്?
തുടക്കത്തിൽ ചെറിയൊരു നെർവസ്നെസ്, അതിനുശേഷം പിന്നെ കുഴപ്പമില്ല.
ഓക്കെ, ശരി. ആൻഡ് വാട്ട് വാസ് ദി ബെസ്റ്റ് ആൻസർ യു ഗേവ് ടുഡേ? ഇന്ന് പറഞ്ഞതിൽ ഏറ്റവും നല്ല ആൻസർ ഏതായിരുന്നു?
I think what I can do from my profession to the service.
ഓക്കെ, ഫ്രം ദി നഴ്സിംഗ് പ്രൊഫഷൻ ടു ദി സർവീസ്. നന്നായി കണക്ട് ചെയ്തു തോന്നുന്നു അല്ലേ? ഓക്കെ, ആൻഡ് ഏതായിരുന്നു ഐ മെസ്ഡ് ഇറ്റ് അപ്പ് എന്ന് തോന്നിയ ഒരു ആൻസർ ഏതായിരുന്നു?
ടെററിസ്റ്റിൻ്റെ കാര്യം പറഞ്ഞപ്പോൾ ചെറുതായിട്ടൊരു കൺഫ്യൂഷൻ വന്നു അവസാനമായിരുന്നു.
അപ്പം അതിനെ കുറച്ചുകൂടി ബെറ്റർ ആയിട്ട് ചെയ്യാൻ എങ്ങനെയാണെന്നുള്ളത് എന്തെങ്കിലും ഐഡിയ ഉണ്ടോ? ഹൗ ബെറ്റർ യു കുഡ് ഹാവ് ഡൺ ഇറ്റ്?
ഒന്നുകൂടെ ഡിസൈഡ് ചെയ്യണം.
സോ ടെൽ മീ, ഓൺ എ ഹോൾ ഇന്നത്തെ ഒരു പെർഫോമൻസിൽ, ഐ മീൻ ഹൗ യു പെർഫോംഡ് ഇൻ ദി ഇന്റർവ്യൂ, അത് വെച്ച് ഔട്ട് ഓഫ് 10 ഹൗ ഡു യു അസസ് യുവർ സെൽഫ്?
I think it's about 7 marks.
7 മാർക്സ്. ഓക്കെ, നോട്ട് ബാഡ്. അപ്പോൾ എന്തായാലും നമുക്ക് പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കാം 7 ജഡ്ജസിനും അങ്ങനെ തോന്നട്ടെ എന്ന് നമുക്ക് പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കാം. ആൻഡ് ഇനിയും അങ്ങോട്ടുള്ള മെയിൻ ഇതിലല്ല കാര്യം, മെയിൻ ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂവിനാണ്. സോ അവർ സ്കോർ എത്ര തരുന്നുള്ളത് മാറ്റി നിർത്തിയിട്ട് അവർ തരുന്ന ഫീഡ്ബാക്ക് ഒക്കെ മനസ്സിലേക്ക് എടുക്കുക. ഓക്കെ, അബ്സോർബ് ഓൾ ഓഫ് ഇറ്റ് ആൻഡ് ലെറ്റ് ഇറ്റ് ഹെൽപ്പ് യു ടു പെർഫോം മച്ച് ബെറ്റർ ഇൻ ദി ഡൽഹി മെയിൻ ഇൻ്റർവ്യൂസ്. ഓക്കെ, വിഷ് യു ഓൾ ദി ബെസ്റ്റ്. ദെയർ യു ഗോ.
Welcome back. Well, we want to encourage you because I think you started off very well.
Thanks.
Climate change, I was really, frankly, astonished that you knew so much.
Thanks.
But then I don't know what happened to you. You collapsed. When the cycling questions came, you completely from 40,000 to
How can you say 41 kilometers? It is 3,000 kilometers.
41 days maybe, sir.
21 days. There also you are wrong.
21 days. Something I had read 41 or 21, sir.
But you should never have written cycling as
You
a
should not
hobby.
have written.
Nobody would have asked you such questions. No. So that is something. Now you cannot change. So you better learn a lot about cycling. And then the situations that they outline to you to develop it, that you are reticent and resistant. You are not even thinking. You are not even trying to explain. You know. Otherwise, there should be an answer. No. Of course, there is a moral question. There is an official question, etc., etc. But still, you should not be afraid of picturizing it immediately. You took so much time. You know, UPSC will not give you that kind of time to think. They will just move on and say that. These are the problems. But I think you have basic material, and the fact that you are a nurse taking the examination itself is an adventure. I can tell you that, because when those two girls got into the civil service, I was quite astonished. And so if you make it, it will be good for us, good for the country, good for the profession.
Yes.
But you didn't do as well as we expected. Okay. So it will put you down for about 200 marks out of 275, not more. So you have to, between now and the examination, because the test, you have to first of all pep up some courage and start answering, and then read slightly more widely. Okay.
For that like a question, what I have to answer?
Yeah,
sir?
this scenario questions, first of all, you should imagine realistically that you are in such and such position.
You have no choice but to take a decision, right?
And then think of the ethical side. See, the situation where you were asked to shut down a clinic. I don't think that's a good thing to do. You know, it's a clinic that's giving service. You could have immediately wriggled out of it, saying, I mean, I don't think that would be the right thing. And if I go on to say that the government has given you directions, obviously you can say no government will give any written direction of that kind. So you need not do illegal things to get the right results. And again, see, when you are asked to choose between NREGS, industry and tourism, see, tourism is the largest employer per,
And the answer should have come in half a second.
See, what do you want to do? You don't want to. NREGS is it's a safety valve. You don't have jobs. There is unemployment. There is nothing happening in your district. There is no growth. Industry is slumping. Then you depend on NREGS. Making a huge expenditure on NREGS is not a great thing. That shows that there is unemployment. There is no growth. There is no industry. People are depending on NREGS. People should not avail NREGS. That is where that district is performing. Then you have the choice of tourism. Obviously, tourism is the easiest way, because per tourist arriving, you have 6 to 7 employments created. So that should have been the obvious answer. Why I can understand why you jumped onto NREGS. Immediately you thought, oh, poor people, giving money to them, so that will sound great. But you should think as well, isn't it? And yeah, I think otherwise you came across fine. You have communication skills and all that.
But you, defend a lot. Have you heard of Malcolm Marshall? He was a very great pace bowler during his times. He used to say that the most frustrating times he has when he was not hit for 6 from Chinnaswamy Stadium to Marine Drive by Krishnamacharya Srikanth, but when he is bowling that fastest ball, Gavaskar used to defend it like that and finally take that ball and throw it back to him. So it was so frustrating. So you are given very loose balls by the board. Madam was asking you the changes would you like to bring in this country. That was a golden opportunity for you to take the interview to the next level.
Launched on just about anything, painted a
It was
nice
not it was not like what is suprapubic puncture. It was a great opportunity. So once in a while it will come to you during the interview. So you should take that loose ball and hit it over Chinnaswamy Stadium.
Yeah, and Benson, you are a trained medical professional, isn't it? Yes. So what you should remember is when something is asked about transgenders, you should know clearly where you are treading to. See, reservation for transgenders, the Supreme Court has of course given a judgment, but you know much better than everyone here that transgenders can they can take birth anywhere. In a very, very advanced, socially, economically, educationally forward community, in a family also, a transgender can take birth, isn't it? So then how will you find him eligible under the constitution? How will you provide reservation? How will you conduct a survey for that? As a medical professional, you should be able to immediately latch on to that point and say, so even though the Supreme Court did give such a judgment, there is such and such problem there.
I thought
Okay.
of victimizing them, sir, because of the victimization that they are.
See, there are a group of transgenders, especially in the north, where they are they go around in groups and all. That is true, but that doesn't form the entire transgender community. There are very famous, very well-to-do transgenders, very famous TV personalities.
Talented.
Yeah, there's so many famous people. So we
In
cannot
constitution,
generalize.
affirmative action or reservation is proposed for which all communities? Isn't it?
It's very clear.
very
That's
clear.
why I asked you. You should not have brought in economy. Economical criteria isn't there, no? It's socially and
Educationally
educationally
backward.
What?
Backward communities. That's the word.
There is a trophy, actually I forgot what, there is a trophy in your name, they may ask you.
Then
Are you
some
aware of-
edges.
You should know that, that is the thing. And then this IT Act, now practically it, as far as IT Act is concerned, now you are free to call any abuse to anyone. It is being supported only by
Constitution.
now IPC only. There are section 505, 509, 5011 by which this calling business, this insulting someone is only you can be booked. So that thing has been taken out, and there is nothing.
Any comment can be made, right?
No, sir. Now, as far as the IT Act is concerned, you are free to call as far as to any condemning, abusing, that can be done. But luckily, now IPC is now supporting. Obviously, you cannot write on your Facebook you cannot abuse our Prime Minister or a President or anyone, no? So they have pulled out that section, but they have not competed, they have not given anything to protect. And ethical hacking and all, this is a type of thing where the government allows you. I mean, that is, the government will hire you and do certain better thing where you like Ankit Fadia, you should be knowing it. Somebody may ask you who is the official, this ethical and the hacker in the country. Ankit Fadia, for Government of India he works. And cycling, what type of cycling are there? Road cycling is there, competition cycling is there, paracycling is there, it's the world over.
I like the way you asked me to clarify my question. That was nice. But after that, you should have just let go, because mine were really easy
a bit
questions.
different
Even about
answer.
the movies, when I said the pictures, you could have really spoken about the theatre experience and all.
Okay, the answer to the tricky question. Invention of the wheel caused a revolution. Right?
Literally so and figuratively so. That's a very good.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.